をここで終わらせる。貴様の野望もこれで終わりじゃ。
Hey, what's up, Sky Heights?
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7. HeyHotchi Mishima. HeyHotchi Mishima. Get ready for the next battle.
Maybe I ought to wait a bit before starting this. Hey, what's up, Blood Blast? Yeah, is that weird? Hey, what's up, Mingria? Is this real? Only if you think it's real? Could be fake, I don't know. I'm just waiting on just a couple minutes. You think you're rich sometimes? Well, it must be nice being rich. That never works. Never ever works. I don't think it works on anybody. I don't know why I bother trying it sometimes. There's one HeyHotchi move nobody uses. What's that? The ground pound? I don't think... Well, because it's so slow, you know, and it's not, I don't even know if it's... Like, is there anything... I mean, I don't think there's anything guaranteed off it, but... Unless they're on the ground, obviously, but... I think most players who know about that move will not... will not stay on the ground for it. Hey, what's up, Fair Tier? Oh, I play Lily and everything works fine. I don't know, man. Weren't you the one who told me that Lily was good? Actually, here's a good... Where is it? Plus 38. That's not, I don't think, I'm pretty sure that's not true frame advantage. Hey, what's up, Waffles? Well, see, here's the thing, Fair Tier. If, you know, if people say something wrong, and it's really, like, it's really obvious, or it should be obvious, then people don't get to live that down. This is your alternate timeline. Okay, I think I'm gonna start pretty soon. I'll give it like 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes. However, Fair Tier, you live in EU, right? So, actually, I think players in EU think Lily's pretty good. So I was in a Badunk stream the other day, and Fergus was in there, and he says that Lily is okay. And he would put her as at mid-tier, which is pretty funny to me. And I mean, I'm not gonna have a whole Lily argument in Bedonk's chat, but oh, he said that Lily players in EU do pretty well, which is fine. However, you know, anybody should know that just because somebody does well with a character doesn't mean that character's good, right? For example, Rangchu with Panda, you know? So, just because Rangchu won Worlds doesn't make Panda a good character. Ice Beam and Calic. Yeah, Calic is the one who does really well. Ice Beam... I think Ice Beam gets away with way too much. Like, he plays very unsafe. But that's his deal. If he could make it work, more power to him. But I think if Ice Beam were to go to Korea or go to Pakistan or even NA, like, he'd have a lot of trouble. But that's just my opinion. Will I upload this tutorial to YouTube before it finally collapses? Yeah, I upload all my streams to YouTube actually. Which is kind of funny because they're all unedited. Because I don't have time to edit that shit. So, yeah, it'll be there eventually. Also, what's up, Buffed? I didn't ignore you. I was just trying to explain. Super Arcade Box is the next video. So, if people didn't know, Super Arcade Box is my account back in Tekken 6.0 days. 6.0, Tekken 6 BR, and some of Tag 2, I think a little bit. But after Tag 2, somewhere in there, I lost the password, and it was linked to a phone that I no longer have access to anymore, and so pretty much I can't get it back. So Super Arcade Box is a dead account now. It's just somehow never updated, and somehow the videos are still up. One day they're gonna disappear and then fucking rip. YouTube will die soon, will it? Is that what people are saying? Lily tutorial 1. I don't know. Lily's kind of a dead, like, to be perfectly honest, Lily's kind of dead right now. Lily's a dead character, so I don't think people even would want. I don't think non-Lily players give a shit about a Lily tutorial. Only the Lily players will care. Which player? Fair tier. Ghost account is Ghost. Yep, pretty much Ghost account. Oh, the Kappa thing? Oh, shit. I didn't really hear about it. The only thing I heard about it is that you have to put whether your videos are appropriate for children or not, which I didn't for Super Arcade Box, obviously, because I don't have access to it anymore. Oh, the guy who stole Yuki's emote? Oh, that would be, Lucky Eve. That, I'm not even gonna talk about him. He's a player who lives in UK and does not play offline at all. So, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so let's get started. I don't even know where to start. What do you guys want to know? You thought this was going to be a tutorial surprise. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you know, this tutorial I don't even know if I should call it a tutorial, but this HeyHotchi I guess segment is going to be kind of based on my style of Mishimas, which is based on the old school style Tekken Tag 1 Mishimas, which is very electric based, electric when God Fist based, and it's kind of an old school mentality that doesn't really work that well these days. It's very difficult to play like this now and win. Kiko Sauce, thanks for the follow. And what's up, Raider? How's it going? HeyHotchi starter guide. Punishment, combos, and pokes. There's a good starter. See, I knew somebody was paying attention. So let's start off. I guess let's go in order. So punishers. HeyHotchi's punishment is standing punishment is pretty decent. IMO. It's not the worst. It's pretty good. Where he suffers mainly is wall standing punishment. I wouldn't even say it's that bad. He just doesn't have an easy wall standing launcher. Let's just put it that way. So 10 frames, 1-1-2. You could do 1-2-2 and then your +4, as you can see in the frame advantage thing. You could do 2-2 for 1 more damage. You are -2 though. It's gonna be uploaded to YouTube. Yeah, eventually. So that's pretty much it for his 10 frame. He doesn't have an 11 frame unless you count like unless you count down 2, which is like, why would you even count that in the first place, right? So generic down 2 is 11 frames. Generic down 1 is 10 frames. But that's all like basic Tekken knowledge, or should be. But anyway, a couple 12 frame punishers he has. Down for 4, it's very niche. It's not super useful. 15 damage, and then his headbutt is 12 frames. So as you can see, you get some free stuff after headbutt. So forward 3. Interesting. Okay, so that doesn't work. But yeah, you could do like easy mode, down 3. You could do 4-2 for a little bit. Okay. Is this pre-recorded? Yes, it's totally pre-recorded, Anne Frank. I'm glad you brought that up. I recorded this 2 days ago, actually. Very pre-recorded. Alright, so this is probably one of the strongest 12 frame punishers in the game, I think. If you don't count Lars's glitchy punishment he had for about 24 hours, where he had like a 12 frame launcher off 4-2-1 for my own character. Okay, why not? Oh yeah, and 2D characters, that too. So for the Tekken characters, I think he has one of the strongest 12 frame punishers in the game. The range isn't so hot though, as you can see. But you get deathfist. Deathfist is consistent, and it's pretty easy to do. And if you're a baller, you can get Omen Thunder God Fist. That's the strongest follow-up. So 43 damage for 12 frames is kind of a lot. Leroy's 4-4-2-2. Yeah, you have to twin pistons Leroy's. You have to use twin pistons. Headbutt doesn't reach, jabs don't reach most of the time. HeyHotchi's jab range is actually pretty short, which is kind of balanced. So you can see the exact ranges here. That's kind of interesting. Actually, versus HeyHotchi might not be a good character to use. Let's use like because HeyHotchi, his stance is kind of weird and how his arm is sticking out, so that makes certain things kind of I don't know, easier. But anyway, so see, as you can see, HeyHotchi jab range isn't the hottest. So 2.09 it misses, 2.08 it hits. That's really weird. So look, 2.09 it misses, but 2.08 it hits. So there you go. There you have it. The exact range. I don't know what this what that measure is, but whatever the measure is, 2.08 is HeyHotchi's jab distance, at least for versus Delvin. Hey, thanks for the host hissing. I don't know why my alert didn't come up. Yeah, forward one is slightly distant, is slightly longer, but it becomes weird because you're actually taking a step forward. So depending on when you hit the one, I don't want to do that quote unquote test for this because it'll depend on when you hit the one after you hit forward. Omen tips. We ain't even started on our own Omen shrink. Alright, so we're talking about punishers. We just did 12 frame. 43 strongest. His strongest 12 frame punisher. And then we have 13 twin pistons obviously. So 34. Pretty good. Wall splats. Maybe I should do a wall stage. Still wall stage.
Get ready for the next battle.
Brian has a forward one jab. Everybody has it. E.g. It's a little bit longer if you press forward. It's hit confirmable. I would not call it hit confirmable. So, the thing about the twin pistons animation, so they can't tech out of this back flop animation, but nothing's free unless the wall is behind them, right? So let's say about this distance, you get a free hit. So that's free. I normally just do down back 2 because it has a lot of range. Maybe I could do 4 for 2. It might be a little slow though. Headbutt into deathfist. Does it wall break? I think the headbutt will wall break by itself. So if you hit them with this at the wall, it'll wall break just by itself. I wouldn't call this. Maybe you can. Actually, that's a pretty big delay. Too bad it doesn't show you how many frames are in between. That'd be kind of crazy though, right? I personally cannot hit confirm it. If you can, more power to you. That's what I say about a lot of things. Like Brian's Corsical back 2-4. It's not hit confirmable, but if you believe you can, more power to you. But I personally cannot. Besides, it's only minus 13. For most characters, that's not a very strong punish. There's only a few characters you need to worry about. punishing you pretty hard for it, which is, you know, the launching characters, because the Josie, Brian's Punisher hurts pretty hard, Leo's Punisher hurts pretty hard. At some distances, because you use twin pistons, will miss, and you can use that to your advantage. Same with Kazumi. I think her wall standing one at some ranges will miss. It just depends. Alright, so 14 frame punishers. If you're a baller, electric is your 14 frame punisher, but it's very hard. Let's see what else. 3-4 is also a 14 frame punisher, which I think not that many people know about. I believe on block this is minus 12. Oh, 14, damn. Well, but there's a good amount of pushback. So you see all that pushback. I'm not saying you should throw it out, but I think the second hit is a counter hit launcher. Yeah, it is. So I personally don't use this string outside of punishing, and usually I only punish rage arts with it, because I think the rage art, the minimum life or actually the maximum life you could get, you can have for before your rage activates is like 40 damage or something. So this is 35. Most of the time, this is gonna kill anyone who tries to rage art you, and you block it. I just do this because it's like a super easy punisher that you really cannot drop. That's guaranteed off of almost all rage arts. So that's just me. I mean, you could always electric, but then like if you try and go for just an electric punish and I happen to get this, I would be very upset, because that's probably not going to kill him. So anyway, that's pretty much all HeyHotchi has for punishers. 15 and higher, you're gonna want to use like electric. You can use deathfist as a very niche punish, but it's like, what are you really gonna punish it? His deathfist is actually 2 frames slower than Paul's. Oh yeah, 423. Good one, EG. So 423 is a very niche 15 frame punisher. I say niche because most of the time you'll want to use electric. But let's see, what does this punish? This punishes Deathfist a good amount of the time, actually. Oh yeah, and it punishes Brian Walsing 1 really well. Electric also punishes Brian Walsing 1. Electric also punishes Deathfist, but it just depends on the range. But this is 33 damage. Actually, you get a guaranteed 442 off of it. So this is, well, it's a little tricky, but yeah, it works. Yeah, it's guaranteed. HeyHotchi Death can punish HeyHotchi's 442. Actually it can't. Oscosis. So HeyHotchi's Death Fist is 15 frames, and I'm pretty sure it can't Darkness. So you have to count the execution, right? Quarters go forward, which you have to tack on to 15 frames, and HeyHotchi's 442 is only minus 16. You can buffer 1 frame, but you can't buffer 2 frames. Anyway, I'm not really gonna get into it because what is this distance? It is a little more. So, even so, at the farthest range, Deathfist is 16 frames. So, show me a video, because I'm not going to try it on stream. Darkness. Pretty sure it doesn't work. As set up. So that's pretty much it for HeyHotchi standing punishers. HeyHotchi's wall standing punishers. Full crouch 1, 10 frames. Very niche punish. There's not a lot of -10s that leave you in crouch. Lily's back turn 1+2 is one of them. Brian's mock kick is another one. That's -10. But there's not a whole lot other than that. Yeah, dick jab is -1 on hit. Why would it be -1? No, it's plus. Hey, what's up, J-Kid? How's it going? -11 is wall standing 4-4, which is one of the stronger 11 frame wall standing punishers in the game. You know, not the strongest. I think that's outside of 2D. I think Leo has the strongest wall standing 4-1+2. I think. But yeah, this is pretty strong. It's hit confirmable. It is hella not hit confirmable. So let me tell you something. No, Darkness. It's hella not hit confirmable. So just because a string is delayable does not make it hit confirmable. You cannot hit confirm this. You can't even delay it that much. You can delay a little bit, but that's it. That's the maximum delay you can do. That's not hit confirmable, buddy. You're losing points here. You don't seem to drop it personally. I mean, if you're punishing it, if you're using it as a punish, yeah, you're not going to drop it. You don't want to hit confirm with a fucking, with it being -15. That's stupid. Hey, what's up, Isaac? How's it going? All right. So moving on. He doesn't really have a 12 frame punisher from wall standing. He doesn't really have a 13 frame punisher. If you want to be a super baller, you could do a crouch cancel. Crouch cancel 1-1-2 or something. This is 12 frames. Okay. See, not easy, especially in the middle of a match, but possible. This is stronger anyway. The only time you would really want to go for this is if his back is to the wall, and then you get a wall splat. But like I said, not really useful because when are you actually going to do that? But you can. Alright, so this is 14 frames while standing 1. Just like headbutt, a lot of stuff is guaranteed afterwards. So forward 3 is super easy. You cannot miss that. Down 3 is possible to miss if you hit them with your arm, if they have a leg extended out and you hit them with their arm, even there you can miss it. Forward 3. I guess you can miss that too. Unlikely though. But if you really don't want to miss, you could just do 4-4-2. So I think that has pretty much the most range out of those. Or deathfist. Oh, see, deathfist missed. So anyway, lost thing 1, deathfist, 44 damage. Strongest is you could do this also as like a very niche wall carry. Let me show you. Like that. That also breaks the wall. So, 42 damage, pretty decent. Omen is the strongest. If I could ever do it. I'm just bad. So, 48. That's his strongest follow-up off that. Omen isn't that much more than Deathfist. I just like doing it myself because it's fun. And the Ogi's pretty decent. You just started learning HeyHotchi because you're fun. That's cool. Kazuya's I think is much harder to use. Because I feel like Kazuya's a lot slower, and I don't know, I just feel like I never liked Kazuya after Tekken Tag 1. That's the only game I liked him in. I just feel like he's too slow for me. Hey, what? Somebody messaged me, lol. Kazuya definitely, I think, definitely has better pressure. Better pokes. Much better wall game, in my opinion. So, let's see. Man, I wish I could turn off my Steam messages. Maybe you can. I just don't know yet. Alright, let's go to some basic pokes. Actually, I don't even know what his basic pokes would be. Because I don't really poke. My poke is electric. If any of you have ever seen me use HeyHotchi. My pokes are electrics and forward 4s. Back 4? I think his back 4 is fine. The range on this is kind of whatever. I mean, you can always wave dash up to him and back 4. So, also, down forward 1-1 you can use as a tracking move because the second hit is like nearly impossible to sidestep or sidewalk. Even Lily or Elisa can't sidewalk it. They can sidewalk the first part, but the second part they'll get hit because for some reason he fucking follows you. So you'll see me do a lot of wall sitting 1-1s in certain matchups just for tracking, like maybe Steve because he likes to sway, even though sway will go under the high. Well, yeah, Elisa for sure. Sometimes I'll use it. Lily. I've had Lily players do, so I'll do like a forward 4 on block, I'll do down 4-1-1, and I've played Lily players who will just sidestep Matterhorn. So they'll sidestep the down 4-1, and then the Matterhorn will go under the second hit. That's happened to me. So it's just something to be aware of. But that's like easily baitable, right? So you could just do that and just dash up and block. And if they're already thinking about Matterhorn, they're just gonna let it rip, right? And then that's a free, easy electric punish. What's worth practicing more for punishing big lows? Crowds cancel electrics or... okay. So... let's go to infinite stage for this one.
Get ready for the next battle.
4-4-2 is and isn't a good option because 4-4-2 itself, it's pretty slow, 19 frames, right? So, oops. So this is minus 23, right? So while 4-4-2 punish is possible, the window is pretty tight. Because 4-4-2 is 19, but you still need the forward motion, right? So this is, you know, this is an okay punish. It's not a launcher. While standing 3, 1+2, I personally don't like it. This is 18 frames, pretty slow, and you have to, I mean, HeyHotchi's never had a while standing launcher, so you have to kind of keep it in your head to launch punish with it. But since it's so slow, like, there's not a whole lot you can punish with it, right? So this combo, this launcher itself, if you miss the health sweep pickup, which is, I think, the only thing that can pick up off it, like that, right? So 30 damage plus 12 is 42 damage. All right, if you miss it, especially if you're somebody who likes to play online a lot, depending on how much you practice this, which I don't because I don't like it, it might not be worth it. So if you just do like this is so easy, right? And in my case, it's 48 damage, lol, right? So much easier, and you don't really have to think because it's already in my head, right? To punish with while staying ones. You could do something like this. Whoops. Hey, thanks for the resub, Death Kid. Much appreciated, man. So you could do something like this, or even that. Same damage. 47. But still 1 damage less than this. This is just what I use. Most HeyHotchi players don't do Omen because it's like, you know, you have to hit it consistently for it to even matter. But anyway, so this you can, if you're close enough, I think you could get a stomp too. Which is pretty good damage. But either way, the window's tight. So 68 would be pretty much max damage staple. if you can do it, and if you want to keep it in your head to use it, you know, more power to you. I just personally don't, because I don't like it, especially because like 99% of my games are online, and I drop that shit a lot. So I'd rather just do Lost Lane 1 Omen. So, but in regards to your original question, so, you know, lows like this, minus 23, forward 2 is a tight window. But you could do dash electric. And then 74, right? Or wall carry. Well, not that one. Alright, 71. That would be pretty much optimal without it being super hard, right? So minus 23. So I think the fastest dash electric can be done in around 17 frames total. So you have, you know, you actually have decent leeway. And so what people don't realize is you have, well, first of all, you have to crouch cancel. But crouch cancel, you don't always have to press up. Okay, so dash is actually a crouch cancel. Yeah, like Oscosa said. Dashing actually is cancels your crouch too. No one's gonna go for that, but that would be pretty much max damage. Max damage punish. Anyway. I think you can even do a 4-3-4, but why would you? Oh, no you can't. 28 frames. Okay. Some lows you could do 4-3-4. I think HeyHotchi's health sweep is minus 28. But why would you? Because it's like, you know, it's much slower. Hey, Dizzy. Ryujin HeyHotchi. Good job, man. Those ranks are, they're more difficult to get these days, I think. Everyone says, like, oh, you know, Season 3, everyone Tekken God Prime, but, I mean, you still can't be a shitty player to get it. Omen Thundergolfist is definitely too slow for stagger lows. 19 frames. Yeah, Omen, you can't do a dash Omen. So you could do a crouch cancel Omen. I have a video on my Twitch where I once punished Kazumi's Shoryuken with Omen. I thought it was pretty funny. Y'all want to play? I'm doing a tutorial, man. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, Omen's actually, it's kind of slow, but it has evasive properties. Yeah, 1-1-2 punch everything. What was I gonna say? Hey Athena, I always crouch cancel with dash. For electric. Oh, so to people who have seen me play a lot on stream with HeyHotchi, ideally, actually, I'll explain this in a second. So, I've already explained punishers. We'll move on to combos now, right? So, pretty much max damage staple, electric, forward 2-3, back forward 2-3, and then the Raijin 2-1, right? Oki on it sucks, but this 4 breaks. As a different ender, you could use forward 2-3, but you can't just do forward 2-3 because he's gonna do this. You have to do 3 forwards. You have to do forward, and then hold the 3rd forward, and then do 2-3, and that's how you do that. How good is HeyHotchi? I think he's in between mid tier and top tier, if you were to ask me. Maybe for a tournament character, maybe slightly lower, but not as low as like mid tier. Honest, yeah, I think HeyHotchi is pretty honest. Online you'll get a lot of like scrubby HeyHotchis who will just flowchart. They'll just do like dumb shit like this all day, right? Hey Bunny, thanks for the raid, much appreciated. I'm doing a HeyHotchi tutorial for those who want to learn Mishimas. Wow, I am dropping a lot of frames. I'm glad I'm not playing online tonight. Is he better than Leroy? Well, I think we all know the answer to that question. Alright, so getting back to HeyHotchi stuff. You hell sweep the shit out of people online. Okay, so that's another thing I don't like to do online, which is like hell sweep quote unquote mix-ups, because I don't think the hell sweep mix-ups are legit when you play offline, and I don't think it'll help you become a better player. It'll just help you rely on like gimmicky shit that people can't block online. So that's my personal take on stuff like this. Like, you know, in a 3-bar connection, this is a real mix-up. But that, like, offline, this shit is not a mix-up at all. So, like, shit like that, like I said, it does not help you become a better player. So, don't fucking do it. That's my thought. Help you become a better player? But you're already better than me. What are you talking about? I don't know why people don't play HeyHotchi Jumanji. I think the most popular Mishima is actually Kazuya. I run into a lot of Kazuyas online, which is kind of interesting. I don't really know why. I personally don't see the appeal of Kazuya. HeyHotchi is super fun to me. Like I like HeyHotchi because he can be very fluid, right? So anyway, let's go back to combos, right? So combo enders. So Raijin 2-1 does not work on like really small females, like Ling, for example. So you have to do dash forward 3, or you have to do dash back forward 2-1. So the point I was getting to a few minutes ago is that some of you have seen me stream HeyHotchi a lot, and then you'll see me. Ideally, I would like to go for this to the forward 2-3 ender all the time. ideally I would like to go for that. But if you're a little bit to the right axis, the second hit whiffs, right? Like that. It happens a lot. So that's why you see me, even in like open ground, I'll go for the back forward 2-1 all the time. Not all the time, when I see myself on that axis. So that's why I do that versus the forward 2-3. But ideally, if I was on axis, the Oki is really good off of this. Dash back forward. Any tips for it? Not really. You just have to practice. It's like Kazumi players when they do the dash laser scraper, dash back forward 2, 1, 1+2 combos. It's just practice. So when you're on this axis, yeah, always misses. I guess you could do this, but this is fine too because the wall carry is good on it. Kazuya players are very aggressive and can't punish very well. I don't know. I don't play that many like super good Kazuyas. There's a lot of them, but they're usually not like super high ranked. Hey, what's up, Uryu? So that's kind of it for the normal staple combos. The normal wall carry works on this axis pretty fine, just not this one. To those who have seen me stream a lot, I abuse the shit out of this move. You know, sometimes it's not good, but sometimes it hooks you up because you know it's a low crush and it's plus. So this is pretty much a staple, especially in Season 3. The last hit used to be very inconsistent. So that works, but it's not a combo, it's not guaranteed. They could tech roll it. Oh yeah, real quick. For the normal staple combo, I've seen some players like to use dash back 4-2-3, but wait, hold on. The damage is the same, so 71. Damage is exactly the same, but I think the forward 2-3 puts you closer, and I think you recover a little bit faster. So ideally, does it work on this axis? I don't know. Oh, it does. Interesting. Do I find the forward back 2-3 to drop? Oh, you mean back forward 2-3? Okay, so there's a small little, you have to visually see it, but there's a small like thing you have to look out for when you do HeyHotchi's combos. If the forward 2-3 hits too low, then the back forward 2 is gonna miss. So like this is gonna miss. You have to watch the distance for this. So once in a while, when I can visually see it. So once in a while, if you see me do a combo like this, it's because that's the height at which back forward 2 is gonna miss. So I'll give you the best example right here. Hey, what's up, Mr. Gaines? Best example, if I can do it. Maybe double doing is not good. Okay, so that's the best example. So the back 4-2-3 never works off of that because it just, the second omen just doesn't work. It just doesn't recover fast enough for that combo to work. So, like that is what Athena was talking about, how it drops sometimes. You just have to visually see when the 4-2-3 hits. And then you can adjust. Like that. It'll miss. It's kind of hard, but you just kind of have to see it / feel it. Otherwise, you could just end with twin pistons. Right? So that's why I do that. Sometimes. He might have a better follow-up. Maybe not that I know of. Yeah, I don't know. But you just kind of have to look out for it. Yeah, it does, but it's not reliable. Darkness, especially for one frame. I mean, one damage. I mean, for one damage, you have to hit the, your combos super early. Like, super early. This is, it's pretty hard, even off electrics. It's pretty easy off Omen. Because they're so high. Right? But, like, I don't really like to use back 1-2 as a staple screw. Because... two reasons. Because you have to be so high for this, and the recovery is kind of bad. Like the back 1-2, it doesn't really move you forward like this does. So, since this is like a tutorial, for the people who are trying to learn HeyHotchi, I would not use back 1-2 as a screw attack unless you know it's gonna hit. Hey, what's up, Honorary? How's it going? Some of the characters are a little bit off there, but I'll let it slide. Used to have to use it in 7.0. Yes, HeyHotchi wasn't so great in 7.0. So let's get back to combos. Before I go too off topic. So off this is your staple. Oops. Off this is your staple combo, right? It used to be forward 3 as your follow-up, which you could still use as a niche follow-up, and I'll show you that later, or I'll show you that in a sec. 1+2 is awesome. Used to be the strongest consistent follow-up, but yeah. This works too. It's just pretty hard and not really that useful for the damage. It's not consistent. Anyway, I think deathfist works too. I think I could be wrong, but anyway, if you have rage, then you know you'll want to do this as your rage combo, right? Or alternatively, you could also do this a little bit weaker. So 89 damage. That's a lot for a low crushing plus frame launcher, right? Mid. So he actually has a lot of follow-ups. Deathfist doesn't work, but he has a lot of follow-ups he could do off the rage drive. That used to be the strongest. It used to be before they nerfed the damage, way back in the arcade version. Hey, thanks for the follow, Spicy Kimchi Pantsu. Well, nice name, buddy. Omen Thunder Godfist is the strongest follow-up, but you know, it's tricky. I drop this all the time. So 93. I drop that combo all the time online because the timing's a little bit weird on it. Like, while setting one, Omen is not that hard because it's the same every time, but yeah, this one's a little bit weird. Well, people could do that for Oki, but I'm fine. And no rumors. How are you doing? I've just been kind of busy lately, so this week is actually pretty slow at work, so I have time to do this. All right, so let's go back to some HeyHotchi stuff. 4-4-2 combo. Staple is electric. Same combo as electric, but just 4-4-2. 4-4-2 Omen is possible. It's just not very good because you can't really follow up with anything. So, not the most useful thing. Oh yeah, real quick. Sometimes I'll trade. Somebody will jab me or whatever when I do electric. So we'll trade. Sometimes I follow up with this as a combo. Whoops, lol. Not that. Hello? So that's usually my follow-up combo because it's this hits pretty low. It hits low enough to where it'll always work if you trade. I would use forward 2-3, but as I explained earlier, like if the forward 2-3 hits too low, then it might miss, which might happen on a trade depending on what move was traded. But anyway, well, yeah, streaming is pretty fun. Everybody's into the Leroy, but here I am doing HeyHotchi. Let's see, other combos. What other combos are there? What other launchers are there? This. So this has two main follow-ups. Whoops, interesting. doesn't work on everybody. Like, if they flip over like that, sometimes the back 4-2 misses. But actually, I think what you're supposed... If I remember, what you're supposed to do is sidestep left. Something like that. I honestly forgot. Oh, okay. I think I remember. Whoops. Is it in veins? Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll go for that. So, I'll sweep 4. Oops. Back 4-2-3. I'm not trying to do 4-2-3. It's supposed to be 4-4-2. Supposed to be guaranteed, lol. But anyway, I don't remember what the combo is. TLDR, you're supposed to hit them at their back and use oh, there it is. No sidestep required then. So that's guaranteed, actually. If they hold back, it's a tech roll trap or back roll catch, I should say. Hey, what's up, Rodolfo? Darkness mentioned forward 3, which I guess I should. So this is a good move. 20 damage, counter hit launcher. 4-4-2 is guaranteed off of this. You just have to practice timing a little bit. Partner by Coke, lol. Yeah, that annoying Twitch ad. Evo. I don't know if I'll be going to Evo this year. Last year was fun, but may have other priorities. Alright, so forward 3 is a counter hit launcher. This is normally what I do. Alright, 62 damage. Maybe I should do that. It's only 4 points more though. Yep, I am going to Japan next year, next September, for 3 weeks. Highest damage off a low parry. I think it would be pretty much the same as this combo. It's just off a low parry. Hey, what's up, Cyplius? Saw you earlier, by the way. Let's try it out. Actually, I don't really This is usually what I do off a low parry for HeyHotchi. Not the strongest, but it's pretty consistent. And has good wall carry. It's mainly the wall carry. So 42. That would be cool, huh? Where am I going? I'm just going to Tokyo again. We might go to Kyoto for a few days, maybe 3 to 5 days. Maybe it just depends on how many people want to go. It's much more expensive if we decide to go there because it adds like an extra, I don't know, $500 or so to the trip because of the travel costs and lodging and stuff. But we'll see what happens. It just depends on everybody's budget. Actually, let's try this, Athena. So this is a pretty easy one. Oh, lol. Guess you have to be early for that one. Am I gonna eat $1,000 steak? I'm not, but there are a few options for eating all-you-can-eat A5 Wagyu beef, which is the highest quality beef in existence, pretty much. There's one place I know of, it's like $100, which is kind of weird, right? Not weird, but unusually cheap, but they're pretty famous. Yeah, it's all you can eat. And there's another place that serves also A5 Wagyu beef for $230, and that's I forgot what the name of the beef is called. It's like I'm not even gonna try and say it. It's Matsuzaki beef or some shit like that. I forget, but which is one of the highest grade. There's like 3 main like top quality beefs in Japan, that was the first one. The second one is Kobe beef, and the third is, I forget. It's another one, but yeah, we're probably gonna hit up those places. All right, in Veins. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a well, more than a bit. It's a pretty big commitment, you know, for 3 weeks. But yeah, if you can go, that'll be super cool because it's gonna be super fun. I know Project Runaway is 100% going. Battle Jitney from New Jersey is 100% going. Cracked LCD also from New Jersey is 100% going. Yeah, just gotta manage your budget. We'll probably. Sorry, this is a little bit off topic, but like maybe around, we'll probably book like plane trips and stuff like right around May. If you need assistance with your budget, like I can try and assist you like around that time. But yeah, you know, because if you really want to go, then I can try and help you out. But yeah, just let me know. Down for 1, down for 1, down for 2-3. Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. Mirosu. But damage is kind of low. Actually, let's take a look. How much for plane tickets? So I live in Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, and the plane tickets for me for a flight from Tucson to Japan is usually around 16 to 1800. So kind of steep for a round trip, by the way. Kind of steep. So what I usually do is I just drive to LA, and then the plane tickets are way cheaper. So from LA, they're around $700 to $800 for round trip, for non-stop round trip, which I think is pretty good. So that's what Battle Jitney has done in the past. He's just flown to LA, and we take a LA flight to Japan. So since I'm in Arizona, the drive is kind of long. It's like 7-8 hours, but the money I'm saving, $1,600 versus $800. It's like a double, right? Double the cost, basically. So I'm saving a lot of money by driving there. You just gotta know where to look. Usually I fly with justfly.com. Oh, man, this is so off topic. People watching this, people watching the archive are gonna be like, what is he talking about? Hey, but YouTube, you just press the forward arrow key and it'll just skip all this shit. Proud Soul, am I hitting up any arcades? Yes, we're gonna hit up Namco Sugamo, the main Tekken arcade. They have a Tekken museum. You can Google it. They have like a lot of really cool art, and like they collect the figures, and they collect like Nobi's trophies and stuff, like from Evo, and all that kind of stuff. They put it behind glass cases and stuff. It's pretty awesome. Cyplius, yes, they allow you duffel bags on the plane. You're allowed one carry-on. I mean, you can bring more, but you just have to pay for it. Let's see. Yeah, the food there is super good. It's super good. But the only issue is your food options are going to be really limited if you have a lot of allergies, or if you're not big on eating meat. So a lot of that Japanese dishes, they have pork or chicken or beef in their dishes, and if you're not big on eating meat, then I'm not, the alternative is still pretty good. But if you're big on meat, then you'll have a good time for sure. Duffel bags and the steak joints. Sure, buddy. But yeah. All right. Back to HeyHotchi. Other combos. Let's
Get ready for the next battle.
So one of my favorite things to do with HeyHotchi is wall bounce. I think his wall bounce is super good because it's safe mid, and the animation, the start of the animation looks like down back 2, but it's actually mid. Point blank to the wall, your combos are kind of okay. Right, 62. You could do deathfist, but it's a much stricter timing. So 66. So here's a little trick. If you do, if you wait a little bit until they reach maximum height, then sometimes you could get even more damage. Well, wow, cannon electric. So that's usually my staple. So 65. So point blank, it's too close for Omen. But any farther you could sometimes get even more damage. So watch how I wait. So let's do one backdash. Watch how I wait. So if you wait and you hit him with electric, they go higher a little bit off of one electric. You can even electric. So here you can get two. You can visually see it, so like that. So you could get more damage depending on the distance. So the wall balance, I think, is a great place to try and maximize your combos. A lot of HeyHotchi players, I shouldn't even say HeyHotchi players, a lot of players in general don't really maximize their combos very well off of wall balance. So 68, 70. This is not necessary, by the way. I'm just trying to see the damage on it. Wow, can't even electric. Well, rip. I can do this much better in match, but yeah, this combo I actually don't attempt very often. The spacing required for that combo is pretty crazy. Very, very, very niche. I would never attempt that in match. But Omen Thunder Godfist combos I attempt pretty often. Well. Also, to those wondering, as a wall ender, I personally like to do electric 1+2, but it's all preference. A lot of players do Hell Sweep 4 1+2, which works on female characters. The electric 1+2 does not work on a lot of the female characters. It does work on Raven, I think, and I'm not sure which other female characters it actually works on. Maybe none of them? I don't even know. But usually if I see a female character, I'll just attempt that one. The combo damage is very similar, but I just like electric 1+2 because it's a lot more versatile, I think. So 61. 62. This is very similar in damage. Yeah, Kazumi's definitely small. This combo I mess up all the time. All the time. And I get really upset because I mess it up. So that's also why I don't do it. It also looks, electric 1+2 also looks cooler too. So right when you hit something like this, with the right spacing, like that combo looks fucking sick. IMO. Or if you have even better spacing, you could do some pretty baller Omen combos. Too far, huh? Too far. If I could do Omen, lol. Man, this is supposed to be a tutorial, lol. 28% battery. Better plug in your charger, buddy. You know what's really weird about this is that my command is correct, but it's not coming out. Maybe I'm doing it too early. Alright, see you later, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. This works much better in-game than practice mode for me. Damn it. That's way too close. Fang's wall bounce. I don't remember what Fang's wall. Oh, down 4-2-2. Yeah, his is pretty good. But if you get the right distance on this, then it becomes. You could get like 3 Omen. Not the right distance. This is a combo I very rarely attempt. Also, 3 Omen requires perfect spacing. Leroy. I haven't gotten to that yet. Ugh, I can't even do omens right now. Wow, never seen that happen. Interesting. Anyway, if your spacing is really good, you can usually visually see it where they end up on the wall. Sometimes you could get Omen, electric, 1+2, and the damage is like almost 80, I think. Can't do it right now because I'm bad. Now I'm kind of upset, actually. Well, there you have it. There's no trick to Omen. You just gotta practice it. Actually, you know what? Let me try something. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why I'm having such issues with this. But we'll move on. You can practice the Omen combos. They're actually... Oh, this isn't working, cat. Rip. Anyway. Alright, so... So actually, one thing that's good about Leroy is that electric 1+2 does work on Leroy at the wall for his wall combos. Female hurtbox. Maybe as far as like other combos go, but as far as wall combos, especially like HeyHotchi's, he definitely has a male hitbox. Here's something useful. So a lot of people like to do wake up kicks. Actually, let's do like a mid or let's do a wake up blow. So a lot of people like to do wake up kicks after like your wall combo, right? Oh. But forward 3 counter hits, which is kind of useful. I think they could still toe kick you though. Is that recovery kick, right? Yeah. Yeah, they could still toe kick you. If you're feeling ballsy, you could just 1+2 again. I think it should work. Oh, I guess not. I mean, if you're really trying to stop their wake up kick, I think up forward 4 should work. I think. Yeah. Also, another reason why I like electric 1+2 is because it hits very low to the floor. So you could do some you could do some interesting wall combo stuff like that. So if you just wait a second, backdash, sometimes you could get another electric. So if you try and do that with health sweep, that's not going to work, right? So that's another reason why I like it. Spring kick, I think. So you get 4 off the spring kick. So most people won't want to spring kick again after that, because that shit hurts, right? It's usually almost always the perfect spacing for. Can even do that for just a little bit more. But it's very niche, so I never usually go for deathfist combos just because spacing has to be perfect. Hey, what's up, Bloodblast? Welcome back. Let's see. True, still going. Yep. So when I said electric hits really low, I'll show you what I mean. Let's see if I can find an example. Okay, so if you need like, let's see. There you go. There's a good example. Oops. Like this. is not going to work. So what else can you follow up with? Like that doesn't work, right? No, that doesn't work. Darkness down forward 1 doesn't pick up. Good try though. Oops, too slow. Alternatively, like with these really odd distances, you could also use forward 3 as a wall carry. No, maybe not that one. That kind of works, but if you're a little bit farther, let's see. I'll just do that. It's a little bit too close. So let's try this. Down forward 1-1. No. That's really hard. That's not something that you want to do. Plus down forward 1-1 is weak. Okay, so here's a good example. You take 1 step back, I think. So, 1 step back. I'm trying to find the right distance. That's the distance I'm trying to find. Where it's, I don't know, maybe it always works now. Okay. Well, in any case, this is what I wanted to show you. You could also use forward 3 as a carry. That, but only on male characters, right? Female characters, I think you could do back 1+2, 1+2, delay it. Oh, maybe too slow. Interesting. Interesting. Probably twin pistons then. Oh snap! Well, I don't know what to use then. You could always do another forward 3, I guess, and try and have that hit low. Hey, what's up, Moist Muffins? I think there's just too many emotes. Actually, I think they're all full. I could be wrong. But you'll want to message Prees about that, because I think he's the emote guy, or one of the emote guys. 4-4-3 combos. I really don't use 4-4-3 much. If I'm gonna do a mid, then it's usually gonna be 4-4-2. 4-4-3. I mean, the hell sweep follow is tricky. The timing is tight. I mean, that would be ideal. But just as an easy one, you could just do back 4-2-4. And if your distance is correct to the wall, I think you could do. You could get 2 electrics off that. but you have to judge the distance correctly. So, as a wall ender, I also forgot to mention this. 1 back 2 1. So, electric 1+2 is actually stronger than 1 back 2 1 as a wall ender, if I remember correctly. So this is 85. So this is 86. See, so electric 1+2, very good. Oops. So 87. One more damage, but I like electric 1+2. Safe mid launcher, what's not to like? You could sidewalk it to HeyHotchi's right though. That's what's not to like. And the problem with sidewalking to HeyHotchi's right is that a lot of moves miss. Yeah, his 4-for-3 is the same as Kazuya's. I think it's 0-1 block, if I remember correctly. Oh, -3, interesting. Why did I think it was 0? Maybe it used to be 0? In any case, yeah, I personally don't like it. Like I said, if I'm going to use a mid-launch, I'm going to use 4-for-2, because 4-for-2 tracks to the side that this does not. Plus, this is slow. I think this is much harder to whiff punish than this is. To most people, it doesn't matter, but let's see. This is still good damage, 54. So plus if you miss the combo, it only ends up being 37 damage, right? Which is, like I said, it's tricky. So if you want to use the alternate ender, the alternate follow-up, I'm sorry. Wow, I thought that worked, but it's not. So 65, 64, 64 without the wall hit, versus 54 from this. I don't know, it's all personal preference. If you like this move and you can make it work, you know, more power to you. But I'd personally rather use this move, because this is -3, and then this you get frame advantage off of if they block it, right? +4 if they block it. So you can continue your offense, kind of, right? If I just want to launch, I'm just gonna electric. That's just how I personally play HeyHotchi. This move, linear. So let me show you. So one of the biggest weaknesses of HeyHotchi is that you could sidewalk left a lot of his moves, right? So HeyHotchi, he's getting buffs, but they're not changing his core weakness, which is while staying launcher, which they gave him 1, but it sucks. And 2, you could just sidewalk left like almost everything he has. So tricky, but right. So, you see what I mean? So even though I launched him here, that wasn't a punish. So I should actually just record him and hold him back. See? So like I said, it's a lot harder to whiff punish his forward 4 than it is his forward 3. So that's pretty much why I use that a lot. Even up forward 3, I think the first hit tracks that way. Oh, not. Or was it the other way? Oh, lol. Maybe it's only after forward 4. I tend to do this a lot because when people do forward 4, they like to duck jab. So some people like to duck jab because they're in crouch, right? Right. I guess they could still step it. Pretty dangerous, but it's not common to step after, to commit to sidewalking after forward 4. So this goes back to where I said, you know, a lot of things don't track sidewalk left for HeyHotchi. If I see a lot of people doing, you know, sidewalk left, I'll do something like that. You know, so depending on my opponent, you have to be watching what they do. I don't really use this very often, to be honest. I just use it on people who I know sidewalk a lot. You can also do this. Let's see. Oops, lol. So remember, like I said, down forward 1-1 tracks. It's like impossible to sidestep. See that? So that's why I use that against people who love to walk a lot. What else? Oh, also, a lot of people like to use this. A lot of HeyHotchi players like to use this, right? Because it's uninterruptible, and players know that, right? So that's why finishing the down forward 1-1 is good too, because it makes it pretty much impossible to whiff punish, because the second one will hit you, right? Right? So punish. And if if you know somebody's gonna do that, you know, you just finish it. I shouldn't say no, but like, you know, usually people won't duck this, so see. So I don't think they could step the 2, but it's most people won't mash after blocking forward 4, so it's not that great to use down forward 1-2, because if they're not going to mash anyway, most people, I'm not, you know, there's some people who love to mash, we all know that, but you know, most good players will not do that. So that tracks. I don't know if it tracks the other way. Oh, it does. So it tracks both ways, but punishable. But you could still whiff punish it if they're really fast about it. Right. So that's why down 4-1-1 is good to throw out. Unless they're really, really good, you're never going to see people duck launch you for doing down 4-1-1. So it's kind of like a feel for you to throw it out for against most players. You've never seen down 4-1-1 get launched. I've seen it happen. I've launched it plenty of times myself, and I've seen Q-Dons launch it, especially back in the Tekken 5 DR days. Down 4-1-1 was a really popular string to throw out at the beginning of rounds. So versus a HeyHotchi, it's kind of good to keep it in mind. You know, there's some things that people love to throw out at the beginning of the round that you kind of always should be aware of. For example, Brian orbital heal. Like Brian players, you know, they throw out orbital heal beginning of the round because if you stick out a 1 jab, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna launch you. And down 4-1-1 is one of those strings where it's like it's really fast, and it's pretty safe on whiff. Is it reactable? Only if you know it's coming. Only if you can anticipate it coming. And it's usually easier to anticipate if the opponent blocks, or if you block something that's like leaves you negative. For example, like this, and then they do that, right? So if they do that, that's a pretty easy, like, because they can't step that, right? A lot of people try to step after this, so that's one of the things. Beginning of the round, also something that you could keep in mind. It's very niche, like I said, so you'll rarely see people do it. Yeah, you have to basically just duck right when you see the down forward 1 come out. And you can't see the difference between this on reaction. Like, you can't see the the second one come out. Also, that's a popular one. So it's pretty safe to throw it out until you play really good players, like top level players. Then it becomes really dangerous. Or I shouldn't say dangerous, but they could possibly anticipate it. So if you get launched, don't be surprised. Or if you get punished anyway. Another great string to throw out is HeyHotchi 1 back 2, because you can't really set that on block. Whoops, lol. And on counter hit, it's a guaranteed string, right? So it's pretty decent damage. So +8 on hit. Yeah, you can't avoid it on if you block the 1. It's very difficult to step. I have had it stepped before, like see, but it's difficult. That's why it's a great string to throw out. That's why you see like JDCR, he throws this out all the time, especially in Tag 2. Yeah, you can punch parry, but I mean, the chances of somebody doing that is very low because they have to react to the jab, right? So it's just a read at that point, because I mean, they could just do jab electric and then you're dead. You can also delay it too, so there's that. A backswing beating back 2, that's a very poor decision on the opponent's part, in my opinion. I mean, sometimes it could work if you're super predictable about 1 back 2 and just like spam it all day. But like if you do jab and then they backswing, like GG's, because you could just, that's a free electric. Part of playing HeyHotchi and Mishimas in general, in my opinion, the way I use Mishimas is a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting, and you'll see me hit electrics a lot, like when I play people, and it's usually just timing. My trick to hitting electrics is actually just waiting. So, for example, I'll do something like this. They'll block a forward 4, and then I'll watch them to see what they do, right? So sometimes people will step, sometimes people will mash. There's no real downside to waiting and watching what the opponent does to try and react to, you know, whatever you're doing. But since this is +4, most people don't like to press buttons, but electric becomes a mind game. So I'll do something like this, and then I'll wait. I'll wait for a certain amount of time, so the opponent will think like, oh, he's not attacking anymore, and then I'll do an electric or backdash. So I'll show you guys a clip real quick that I clipped the other day. I was playing Princess Ling, and I was using his. I was playing his Leroy, right? I hit him with a wall combo. I did electric, and then even though electric is +5, so a big rule in Tekken is even if you have the advantage, that does not mean you have to attack, right? Just because you have the advantage does not mean you have to attack, because The other opponent could be just waiting to sidestep, launch you, waiting to do a power crush, waiting to do a rage art, waiting to backdash your next attack, and just bait you. So, so I'll show you this clip. So I hit peeling with this wall combo, and then I did electric. I waited, I backdashed, and then he did a homing move, which has a lot of range, by the way, but he whiffed it, and so I blew him up for it. So you guys can watch that here. It's kind of like, you know, electric becomes a mind game. Don't always attack when you have plus frame advantage, right? But in that clip, you know, you see the whiff and then you punish accordingly, right? So a lot of people in Tekken, like let's say +4, right? You know, you don't always have to attack. You don't always have to attack when you're plus here. You don't always have to attack when you hit them with the down back 2. Some stuff is uninterruptible, right? For example, while saying 4, but that doesn't mean you have to do it, because all you're doing is giving them plus frame advantage because they're just waiting, right? So sometimes you got to make them think. You got to make them kind of put it in their head like, oh, he's not going to attack every time, so that means I can attack. Well, wrong, because I'm just gonna electric you, right? I'm just gonna wait and electric you. So that's kind of the mind game to old school Mishimas. There's a lot of waiting involved. What's up, Adobo? How's it going? You wonder what he was trying to do when he was doing orbital. Well, the thing is, like, orbital is actually a mix-up, especially online, for Leroy, because his orbital is 21 frames and his health sweep is 18 frames. It's very, very, very close, right? So especially online, like, you can't see health sweep, so you have to kind of guess for it, right? That's why, if you look at the clip again, after I hit him with the wall combo, when he did the orbital, I ducked for a split second because I was trying to fuzzy guard his health sweep, which I did. That's why I was able to block the orbital. But yeah, it becomes it's very difficult to. I mean, I can't see it. Even Brian, for me, like Brian online 3-bar, 4-bar, the low soccer kick. If a Brian runs up to me and does a low soccer kick, or runs up to me and does orbital, I can't see the difference between that online. Offline I can. But that's why I get irritated sometimes, because like Brian's will run up an orbital and I'll get hit. Because I'm anticipating a low soccer. Because, I don't know, maybe I have slow reactions, but I can't see that online. So... Let's see. HeyHotchi has Raijin stance, which I don't really use. I only use Raijin stance for like very niche situations. Like if somebody's like very, very punch heavy, then sometimes I'll try and punch either Raijin 1 because it parries punches, right? Raijin 2 by itself is launch punishable. Raijin 2-1 is like -17 or something. So it's not a stance that I like to use very often. The niche use I have for it is for like floor break combos. So So this is 43 damage. This is 34 damage, right? So, for example, let's pretend this is like the temple stage, right? By the way, temple stage, you should probably try not to break the floor early because there's a damage reduction once you break the floor to the rest of your combo. So that's why if you see me play, sometimes I'll just finish a wall combo and not even break the floor. It just depends. It depends on the situation. And I usually don't try and break the floor early, ever. Unless I have to. So anyway, so let's pretend this is temple stage, right? And I hit somebody with this. You know, typically you want to break it with something strong. 68 damage. You could also use that for 2-2, 67. A little bit weaker actually, because they buff this damage. Interesting, I didn't know that. But Raijin 2-1 is a niche ender for that. They have to be kind of high because it's slow, right? But that's the strongest floor break he has. Unless you hit that, which is not going to happen that often. But so a little bit more damage, and it looks a lot cooler when you do Raijin 1-2 as a floor break, or even a balcony break. Actually, I think it balcony breaks too. Forward 3 into Raijin. Personally, I'd rather just block, because forward 3, I think it's only -3. Yeah, it's only -3 on block. Demon Paw? What's Demon Paw? Demon Paw is Diligence 442.
Get ready for the next battle.
Oh, you mean Demon Palm? Oh, Deathfist. I've never tried using Deathfist. I usually try and do electric, actually. That's usually my go-to when I'm at the wall, anyway. So let's do wall. Let's just do twin pistons, right? Okay, so. So if you time it correctly, you can get 2 electrics. And then 1+2. That's usually what I try and go for. I've never tried Deathfist before, that's interesting. Is that any good? Oh lol. Iron Hand. Alright, official names, huh? You could probably do a Deathfist electric, sorry, Iron Hand electric 1+2, but timing, like I said, I don't really like Iron Hand combos. It's Iron Hand just recovers too slowly. But we alternatively, what you can also do is forward 4, and then I think that's might be guaranteed. Let's try it. I think this is a mix-up at the very least. Yep. So it's a mix-up. I'm not sure if that works. That might be too slow. Yeah, 4-4 stomp. That's. They might be able to back roll that. Let's try. Stand up. Quick back roll. Yeah, they can avoid it. But it's a mix-up, right? See? So... That might be guaranteed. Let's try guard all. Quick stand, right? That might be guaranteed. I don't know, test it out. See how that works. Down by 3 is probably guaranteed, but that's not a lot of damage. 12 damage plus. Let's see. Okay, so 55 plus 13, right? So 58, 68. 68 damage. So 71. It's only 3 damage more. Looks cool though, right? Man, if forward 4, down 3 is guaranteed, I just might use that instead. It's only 3 damage less, and if it's guaranteed, because sometimes I miss the electric because because of the slowdown, the timing is a little funky, and then sometimes I hit the electric too low, and I don't get 2 electrics. I only get 1 electric. You probably can, but it's probably gonna be weak. 61. Oh, I just mashed it and it missed. So maybe you have to wait. That's interesting. Oh yeah, block it. Yeah, I don't know. Electric 1+2 is usually what I like to do, because it's flashy, it looks cool, and I get all my 1+2 wall key. But oh, you know, real quick, another reason why I don't like using 1 back 2 1 for a wall combo is because it puts them away from the wall. So when people tech, like, right? Suddenly I'm at the wall. So why would I want to do that? Right? So that's why I never use that, like, ever. Because you don't want to give up your wall. If you know, if you have them at the wall, you want to you don't want to give up your wall position. Right? So they're still at the wall. So you can adjust and and keep them at the wall, right? Which HeyHotchi's wall game is very good, you know, obviously because you have, you know, wall spot 1, 2, etc. But yeah, 1 back 2, 1. Like people who use that kind of the flop on the low wall hits, you know, if they want to do that, cool, but you know, just in general, like that, I don't like that flop stun, that flop, whatever they added. You're just giving them a chance to get away from the ball, right? So, well. Let's see what else. Not a whole lot. My HeyHotchi is very basic. It's just electric 80 times and randomly go for this. Oh, real quick. So a lot of people complain that HeyHotchi doesn't have any good lows, which I think is perfectly fine, because when you start playing better players, they're going to want to launch your electrics, right? Especially if you do a lot of them like me. You know, people want to duck your electrics, right? So if they're going to duck your electrics, they're also going to duck your lows, you know, and his lows are pretty bad on block. Minus 18. Do you guys know that? I knew that. So yeah, he has a lot of pretty unsafe lows, obviously. Even full crouch down 4 is launch punishable, but that's everybody. A lot of unsafe lows. So I just go mid and high. That's pretty much it. 80 electrics and then maybe 3 mids. That's pretty much that's my HeyHotchi. That's my Mishimas in general in a nutshell. Like when I play Devil Jin, you kind of have to use Hell Sweep. Kazuya, I don't think you need to Hell Sweep that much. But Kazuya has a lot of dangerous mids, so maybe it's not great to duck Kazuya. But HeyHotchi, my style HeyHotchi, people like to duck, so I like to do mids. Excuse me. Down 4. I don't personally like down 4 too much. Minus 13 for 7 damage. I mean, you could be taking, you know, a generic Lost Hang 4 punish is double the damage of what you're getting off a down 4. And for somebody who has a top tier Lost Hang Punisher, like something like this is like 4 times as much damage as you get for a down 4. So it's okay in some situations, like if you do 4th form block, that's uninterruptible. But I don't know. I like to flow a lot with HeyHotchi, and since this is minus 2, sometimes it could just interrupt your offense because, you know, you're at disadvantage. But it's not a lot. Wall sending to, it depends. I don't like using wall sending 2 in general. I guess it's 18 frames. I don't know. I personally don't like wall standing too. It just feels slow. So after down four it becomes, it's essentially 20, right? Because you're -2. So yeah, I don't know. I personally don't like it. If I'm gonna use a, yeah, it also leaves them at -6. So, and I already kind of explained, you know, how I don't like to be at a disadvantage with HeyHotchi. Yeah, his lows are pretty garbage, so just do like 80 electrics. If they start ducking, then just start doing mids. So, the quote-unquote no mix-up. Only if they like never ever duck, then yeah, I'm gonna start using lows. Grabs, I don't really like. Yeah, I don't like grabbing online. That's just a personal preference, because I feel like, you know, your window is only so big, and online, like if people start lagging, or like, you know, the classic, you know, you have 20 points of HP left and somebody grabs you, like end of the round shit. Like, that's like, come on, man. If we were online, that wouldn't work, right? So, I think like I feel like bad players do that a lot. Like desperation kind of grabs. I personally don't grab online. Offline, I'll grab a lot. Because, you know, people could break it. They get a fair quote-unquote chance because it's not laggy, right? The only grab I do online sometimes is the headbutt carnival, which I'm sure some of you have seen me do. Only works on male characters, right? That one. I just do it because it's like memey. I just do it for the memes. If they mash back, I'll just keep mashing back, and it's like it becomes forever. But I'll always do it when I have more HP, because right, if we both mash till the end, I'll still win. Because I have more HP. Down 1-2 string. I don't like the string personally, because it leaves you at -9. Is it even counting a combo? Oh, it is. I personally don't like it. This used to be uninterruptible, but you can interrupt it now. I think they changed that really early on, maybe even before console release. Yeah, the headbutt carnival works on Leo. Yeah, you can interrupt it, and it's just like, it leaves you at -9, so it's like they get a free mix-up, basically. So if you're playing somebody, especially like a laggy connection, and they might like do some dumb shit like Snake Edge afterwards, like, it's not good to leave yourself at -9. It's not punishable, but most people don't step it, but yeah, it's definitely 10 frame interruptible. Hey Athena, you asked me earlier. For some reason, I kind of derped on the answer because I didn't answer. You asked me earlier if there's anything cool with Omen on this stage. Not really. This stage is nothing special with Omen. You knew he was gonna do it. So you mean you did? Oh, do you mean you did down 1 and then just ducked and punished him, or you finished it and he tried to punish your -9? Because if you did down 1 and then ducked and then punished, that's kind of funny. Oh, he thought it was -10. Oh, I see. Lol. Maybe he just did a jab out of habit. Yeah, I mean it's still safe. It's still okay to use once in a while, but I personally don't like it, and I don't know. Yeah, it's okay to use once in a while, but it's like there's no mix-up, right? So nobody has to attack, right? Or nobody. It's like if you finish, you're gonna be -9. So it's like what I see from the opponent. If I was playing against HeyHotchi and they like to use down 1-2, I'd be like, oh cool, I get a free +9 because he just finishes the string all the time, right? So that's just my opinion. I was going to do something. I was gonna mention something here. So I forgot to mention this as a wall combo. Yeah, and -9 you lost turn. I forgot to mention this as a wall combo. If you do forward 3, this becomes like a pseudo infinite until they tech roll, or until they roll to the side. Because like sometimes after this, sometimes people don't get up, right? So I'll usually mix it up with this. This works on everybody, by the way. I believe. So I'll either do that, or if I think they're gonna lay on the floor, I'll do a stomp. Because a stomp does a shit ton of damage, right? 24 damage. That's a lot. And usually, almost every time, nearly 100% of the time, people will get up after the stomp. So a lot of times I'll either do a stomp into this, and they'll get up, and it counter hits them if they try and do a wake up kick, or if they try and duck, it'll re-wall spot them, or I'll just do that, and then I'm suddenly, +6 or whatever. Spring kick will blow it up. Yep. Actually, it might come out as a down 4. Oh yeah, it does come out as down 4. But, I already explained the dangers of spring kicking against HeyHotchi. So now, after this wall combo, you should be very, prepared for spring kicks. Whoops. Well. Right. I'm gonna use that forward 4 into down 3. I'm gonna test it out against opponents and see how well that works. What if they could side roll it? Maybe they can. Maybe they could side roll it. But anyway, it's good to test it out. This string, it's not great to throw out very often because it is punishable, but for some reason I get counter hits more often than you would think, like on a delay. So it's only minus 12, right? And they're in full crouch. So most people's punish on it won't be so bad. And it's a natural combo, right? So if they're already ducking for this, yeah, I do too. And so like this move is mid-high, right? So people will duck for that because they see this and they'll either try and duck for that for that follow-up, or they'll duck for that follow-up. So I actually hit this more often than you would think. And even as a counter hit, because it counter hit combo, it's a counter hit combo. Right? So, pretty surprising. Let's cover one more thing with HeyHotchi, and then maybe we'll call it a night. Balcony breaks. My go-to combo after a balcony break, I think used to be down forward 1-1 into back forward 2-3, but I'm sure you could get much more than that. Well, I know you can get much more than that, but I've been experimenting with that lately a little bit. I was kind of that started being my go-to, but I think you could do this. Oh, maybe not. The reason I don't want to really rely on this one is because if you land the forward 2-3, there could be that height where the back forward 2 will miss. Well, and that too. The timing can be kind of tricky. Okay, well, I guess I won't use that then. Although electric back forward 1-1 should work, actually. So 69, that's actually the same damage. There's no point doing that. Nice. Oh, what the? Lol. Maybe not so nice. Oh, 70. They're tricky too. Yeah, it just depends. If it's an instant wall break, like, you know, like this, I'll just use forward 2-3. This is the easiest one because you could just mash it. Right, so pretty staple. Very, very difficult to drop. it just becomes difficult if you start adding hits to your wall combo. Like that. Let's see. As a single hit, I think you could pretty much always do. What the heck? Oh, I think you could pretty much always do Hell Axle. Yeah, you could always do Hell Axle after long combos. Hunting Hawk. Think I'm a Horon player? Yeah, so that's probably the best follow-up when you have that many hits. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Veins. What'd you miss? Nothing. Nothing at all. The wall carry looks good. Yeah. After a lot of balcony breaks, I'll just use Hell Axle. I forgot. Does 1+2? Oh, it does wall splat. Okay. Hunting Geta, is it? I mean, I'm not one for like move names much, to be honest. Hell Axle. Yeah, there's not much more. Hey, what's up, Mr. R-Star? There's not a whole lot that I feel needs to be covered. Hey, what's up, JC? Probably gonna be ending my stream soon here. I think I've covered pretty much everything that I want to cover, unless you guys have questions. Any notable Oki? Not really. 4-1+2 Omen. That's some good Oki. My Oki is basically... It's just forward 4. Just to put me up plus. And if people happen to duck, then, you know, it's Twin Pistons. Oh, there is one thing that I do want to go over. That's I think it's pretty relevant. So this might take a little bit of practice. So you'll see people, you know, if you hit them with this, they'll do the really quick spring kick, right? Well, that's a big mistake because you can actually launch that. It doesn't say punish, actually. So let me try and record this. I'm sure you guys believe me, but... Yeah, you can launch that. Actually, fuck. How am I gonna do this? All right. Yeah, I don't know. Here, let's do it this way. Display setting, recovery, animation. Okay, so you could see it. So you could see that he hasn't recovered yet, right? So that's guaranteed. And what makes this really easy, it's really easy to just keep in your mind, because if people just get hit, right? You want to dash up to them anyway, because you get a free stomp. So you're already dashing. So after using this, you just keep in your head, like, well, he might spring kick, or they might roll back. You know, they could roll back, and you get nothing. But sometimes they do a spring kick, because it hits you, right? Well, guess what, buddy? They're the ones who are going to be taking damage for that. So, just set up your 1+2s. For some reason, like, when people block this, I always do 1+2. Almost always. And, like, you'd be surprised at how much that hits. Because, like, even in higher level, I hit that a lot. And I have no idea why, because it's so obvious to me. You know? But people will just run up and try and attack you. But yeah. You can do 4-4-2, but it's slower, right? And you might not get it every time, right? See it like there? So it's 4-4-2. It'll hit them if they don't move on the ground, but 4-4-2 is 17 damage on the ground, and Stomp is 24. So I like to go for Stomp, but yeah, but that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of at the moment. Let's see. If you block something that's really negative, you can always go for the Baller, Omen, Punish, right? So, I think Eliza's EX DP is something like -33 or something. Same with Akuma. Excuse me. Same with Akuma's. His is minus a shit ton. At least 25, 26. So. I did punish with this once. I don't remember how hard it was though. Oh, there's the punish. Imagine punishing with that. Alright guys, that's gonna be the end of my stream tonight. It's all HeyHotchi. Hope you were able to learn something. I learned a couple new things myself, like the temple stage, forward 4, down 3. Interesting. I'll probably mess around with that. If I don't like it, it'll be back to my electric 1+2 shit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll probably be streaming a lot in the next few days because I have a 5-day weekend. I think I might pick up Leroy, but if I don't, probably back to HeyHotchi and Lily. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by, thanks for the new follows, and I'll catch you next time.
Aw, where's my block? Kane! Thanks, Bob.